Hello again. Well, of course, the week's leave went by in a flash, and I was subsequently told to report to HMS Collingwood, um, which once again turned out to be a landlocked ship on the west coast of England, and near a town called Warrington in Lancashire. And so, of course, I duly did, and. But when we got there, I could see that the whole atmosphere was completely different to the dilapidated conditions that we'd had before in our sort of boot camp. There was white posts that lined roads, and there were even cultivated areas of gardens, and so it was very much more pleasant and a completely different atmosphere. And there would be about 20 of us, I should think, and we were still accommodated in a wooden building, but this time there was a stove in the middle of the room, and so we had better accommodation. And I think you can imagine when 20 young people get together, there's always one extrovert and probably somebody who could play an instrument, and there was one Welshman who could sing very well, and he was always doing a version of what's his name? I can't remember. Perfidia by. So it was much better, but of course we still had the same routine as you would have on a ship, and we were awakened at about 6 a.m. by a tannoy, and we went to wash and then dress and then to breakfast, and on with whatever. I didn't really understand or could see anything happening, and but we had many interviews and tests, and I think the whole thing was to decide what sort of position you would take when you were sent to a proper warship, like say a gunner or a cook or a radio operator or a signalman or something. But it was decided that I and I think 6 others would be sent to train as radar mechanics, and of course radar in those days was in its very early stages, and so that is what happened. And we were sent to Aberdeen in Scotland, and there we were housed in domestic bed and breakfast, really, I suppose. And we attended a college called Robert Gordon College. We weren't allowed the same freedoms as maybe other students who could choose their own times to attend their lectures and things. We had to report, I think, at 9 a.m. And there, of course, we learned eventually about the wonders of radar. We had many lectures, and we learned about radios. We built simple radios and then more complicated radios, which were operated by valves and resistors and things. And eventually, of course, passed out as radar mechanics. And then returned to HMS Collingwood, where we would be, I suppose, told what we were going to do next. So I'll tell you about that next time. But it was, apart from the fact of having to have very weak porridge laced with so much salt, it was all a very pleasant, always very pleasant experience, really. So until next time, goodbye.